Oh, I love this so much. I love making plans. And, you know, at this point, you've basically um, co-created your calendar with the cosmos, and then you have your plans, right? Your plan A, which is your success plan, your plan B, which is your plan for challenges, what challenges might arise, your plan C, which is like you kind of know what you do to self-sabotage. So it's your plan for altitude sickness, like be prepared for those things ahead of time, see that stink coming and know how you're going to navigate around that. Really ninja. And then your plan D is your backup plan. And what I always say, right? It's like the whole world could go to shit, but not Diane Sykes. And I stay centered, I stay grounded because I always have a backup plan. And so the backup plan is really it's more of a broad stroke plan. And then you can utilize different pieces of your backup plan depending on the day and depending on what you have scheduled for your success for the week. And where you see that you've kind of been giving yourself the bends, that little self-sabotage, and where you see you might be engaging in some more destructive patterns versus the more invigorating ones. So you have this backup plan, and this is helping you to consistently check in and make sure that you're replenishing that reserve force. So I just want to share what an example of a backup plan looks like so that you can start to constitute this and play with it. It's so much fun. This is like my favorite plan. My favorite plan is my backup plan. So my backup plan, I've tweaked over the years, but what I've really been feeling in groove with is having my funk fest, right? I've called it different things. It'll change again, but I know that on a regular basis in my life, when I take a cold, hard, sober look at my scene, between the hours of 3 and 7 is where I can start to go a little sideways, where I could start to feel depleted, where I could start to be engaging in destructive behaviors like negative thoughts, like getting irritable, like these things, right? So I'm like, okay, my backup is on myself and understanding this. So in those hours, what am I creating for myself? And what I've done is I've actually scheduled this in that during this time I do an exercise to get some anger out. And again, it depends on the day, but I know I can go into that. And as soon as I do this anger exercise, I drop into a much more harmonious state hormonally, and I just feel at ease, and I can get back into a rhythm and a productive pattern. Um, Sighing and pausing are huge, right? So that's part of my backup plan. Pause and sigh, and the physical release of a sigh. Again, this is all chemical. This creates the right chemistry in my body to get me back into a prosperous vibration. And I allow myself space and time during these hours to simply, when I'm pausing, just to contemplate something that perhaps may have seemed like a puzzle, and get into this space of excitement, energy around it, instead of allowing it to be frustrating for me. Contemplation is a beautiful art, and I love developing that skill on a daily basis, developing my contemplation muscle. Because there's so much richness, there's so much epiphany, there's so much discovery, and also so much secretion from my pineal gland when I'm doing that, which again puts me back in alignment with what do I want to feel? At peace, fully prosperous, and just enjoying every moment. And the other great thing I do in my backup plan is I allot myself a set time to complain, to bitch and moan. And it's like during these hours, I get to call my bestie. And, sometimes there's nothing I find that these days I have so much less that I would even ever want to complain about. It just doesn't happen. But I have this time in my schedule because maybe it's just like, my daughter really triggered me and I went into bitch mom mode, and I noticed that these things came up, and being able to talk to a girlfriend about it, and just to have that bitch and wine moment, and to, toast and have a glass of red wine and just kind of like, whoo, just be in the humanness of it all, so it comes out, so I can then alchemize to, again, that even that in and of itself creates just abundance and prosperity within myself. And I'm just actually reading right from my list here of what I do, which is nourishment. For me right now, I've been working through nourishing my root chakra. So during the hours of 3 and 7, I'm making sure I'm getting plenty of red foods, tomatoes, lycopene. These are good mood foods. Beets. I don't love beets, but I try to do like a beet latte, or ashwagandha tea and holy basil tea, and just nourishing myself so that I can feel in balance in my root chakra, safe, grounded. And I also now, I used to shower in the mornings, but now I'm like, this is my time. Like, I know that I get my daughter from school. She comes home, she does homework. I can go have a hot tub. I can go take a shower. Or after school, I scoop her up and we can go get a manicure together, right? Instead of trying to fit a manicure in, I create this as a spa experience and do like a 20-minute back massage after, and make it really pleasurable for me. And the other thing that I plan for is, I used to kind of put off the mindless TV watching, because I feel like that's important for me. That nourishes my soul. It may not work for everyone, but for me, I'm like, I like that. And that's cool with me. And that feels good to my soul. And I used to push that off to the end of the night. And I still do it. I have my slumber party with my daughter every night, and that's part of nourishing my soul as well. And not even my backup plan. That's just part of my daily plan. But my backup plan is when I'm feeling really kind of, it's like, why do I wait? Like, oh, I can't watch TV until the end of the night, until everything is done and I feel complete. But just allowing myself, like, hey, you know what? It's 5 o'clock. There's a Magnum PI rerun on. Cool. I'm going to pop that on. I may or may not sit down and pay attention to it, but just knowing that I'm giving myself permission to kind of check out a little bit and release control over all the stuff I think I have to do is super nourishing to me. And maybe I sit down, and maybe that's the time I also know I'm like, one way I distract myself during the day is getting on social media. So this is a time I'll just scroll through social media. You'll do a little online shopping. So these are just some things that I've created as my plan D. And again, it's kind of like a broad stroked plan, but then I drop in and I make them relevant to what's going on in my scene for that day. That's what a backup plan looks like. Super fun.